Dear Rita, hello. So welcome to Lithuania, welcome to Stasys Museum.
Thank
We're
you.
very happy to have you here. Even though the travel to the airport was a bit bumpy, but you managed, you made it, and you are here, and we are really happy, and I'm honored to curate this exhibition of your husband, Hermann Nitsch.
Thank you, thank you.
Since we are sitting in the space of the exhibition, I would like to ask you the question, do you have your favorite piece in this exhibition?
I cannot say that I have one favorite piece. I like a couple of them, or I like all the work of my husband, but I don't have a favorite piece. They are so different. Everyone has his own history and importance, but I cannot say that the red one is my favorite or the Oedipus is my favorite. I like this piece very much, this painting.
We borrowed the works also from Nitsch Foundation, as we see the work over there. Can you tell me about the colors? Because Nitsch started then to work more with the colors, with the rhythm of the colors, as if we could hear the sound, right? Because this is the piece from the Nitsch Foundation.
Yes. Nitsch was using the color many years only like a material. It was not important that it's red or black or another color. He used it as a substance, as a material, the color, not as a color. And with these fab scales, he refreshed the exhibitions also, when the paintings were all red. And only in the last years, he starts to paint in all the colors, and he discovered the color for himself, and he makes wonderful paintings in his last years before he died. Yeah.
Why do you think there was such a huge change in colors in the late years?
Maybe it was inspiration, and he likes to use all the rainbow colors, and also he used the paint like a substance, but in many colors, beautiful colors.
And he was teaching in Germany, right?
Yes, he was.
He had
He
some-
likes to teach. He was in Frankfurt for many years, teacher in the Städel school, university, and also in Hamburg he was teaching 2 years. And then he likes also to teach in the summer schools. They were also the Kokoschka summer school in Salzburg. He was many years teaching there.
Since I asked you which work is your favorite, so I can share mine.
Yes,
If
please,
you want.
show me.
So for me, I think the most kind of, how to say, it's more like figurative probably, because you can read all the images, all the structures, is the Conquest of Jerusalem. Because this work I saw in reality at the Sommers Gallery. That was the first work I saw at his, because as we know, Gerhard Sommer borrowed also many works for this exhibition. And that was the work which was hanging above the door. And it was quite high. And I was thinking, I wish I could see it closer, but it was so high hanging. And now we have it here, so I can really come close and explore the drawing, all these little rooms, numbers, the parts of organs there, and all they are connected, and there is this image of, as I could see, it could be also some kind of like arterias, but also as a plant. And so for me, this work is really like breathing, you know, all these organs kind of like moving, because other works, they also like, they are more abstract. But that one, or for instance, the Last Supper, you have to come closer to discover things in details.
My husband wants to be everything: composer, painter, drawer, philosopher, poet, and also architect. And he has this utopic vision of architecture under the earth. Mm-hmm. He wanted also to build 7 floors under our castle in Prinzendorf, because he said the architecture destroyed the landscape, it must be under the floor. And Yes, his architecture was like organs, and he writes to the drawings always also the partitur, what is happened in this room, what is happened in this room, which is a heart, which is a kidney, which is a liver. And there were performances in all these rooms. This was his
So in other
vision.
words,
Yeah.
in other words, we could say it's like a setting of the play, parts of the
Yeah.
the score, which would happen, or
Yeah.
maybe didn't necessarily happen. But then we have these wonderful, fantastic drawings made by Hermann Nitsch. You mentioned about that he was writing also music. He was a
Yes,
composer.
yeah.
How did you like his compositions?
I like it very much, yeah. First, he starts with the music only to intensify the performances. It was only noise, his music, very loud noise to the performances. Then he composed the whole 6-day play, but later he was also composing music themselves without performance behind. Very often the most important concert was in the Wiener Concertverein, which is one of the best concert houses in the world. After his death, it was a symphony from Nitsch there. They play a symphony. And this was really beautiful.
I wish I was there to listen. I was wondering, how did he get this knowledge as, to write the music score? I mean, did he know all these notes? Did he learn somewhere, or he was making drawings instead? Because I know one Austrian sound artist who doesn't do doesn't write in the notes, but he is drawing. Like there are 5 guitars, he draws the guitars,
Yes.
And
also, Nitsch was not able to write the score with notes. He has a special style to write his music down. But the musician, they can read this, and his music is also atonal. Yeah? And he decides only how many instruments, how long, and how strong they play. But the musicians, they can a little bit choose the tonality. And so there are blocks, that his music is always a big block of noise, of instruments, and then it's coming another one. Yeah.
the funny thing was that in the film that we have 6 days play, that you see Nitsch with the headphones, with the big headphones, and he's whispering to the actors, let's say, participants. So was that because of this loud noise that he created by himself?
Yes, he was always using sometimes, how do you call this? Yeah, headphones or something to put in the air. He likes loud music, but if you have it all the day, it's too much. Yeah,
6 days.
Yeah.
Let's go now probably to Jonas Mekas, because we have an exhibition also. We're showing Jonas Mekas' wonderful film, the scenes from Hermann Nitsch Live, which thanks to Sebastian Mekas, we received it. What do you know about the friendship? I mean, it happened in New York, right? They met in New York in 1968. And thanks to Peter Kubelka, I suppose, who organized him to do the performances first time in the United States. And I was also reading that there was, when Nitsch was rehearsing in New York, that the people of the institution, they saw the rehearsal and they stopped. They didn't allow them to do it. And then Jonas Mekas was giving lectures about film, right, in that institution. I think it was university or so. And he actually protested. He said, I'm not giving this lecture because your institution, your university doesn't allow Nitsch to do performance. And so all the students like, no, he has to do the performance. And then that day that Nitsch went, I think with Peter Kubalka, I suppose, to a bar. They got drunk there, and then in the morning he got the call, and they said, you are allowed to do this performance. So he was like, as he says, I felt not so good after lots of wine. And then they did this performance, and also in other city,
Cincinnati,
there as well. And then since then they became very good friends, right, with Jonas Mekas, and he was following him. You were also in late 90s, I suppose, in New York, because you're also in the movie. But a little short part, because Mekas is always moving this camera, so you're not always recognize who's there. So you went to this thing that was in Boros Park.
Also late 80s, I went the first time to Mekas' house also. And then now I saw the film the first time, and he was also very often in Naples, Jonas Mekas. No? And where Nitsch has a museum, and in the house of Mora, I saw now the film. Jonas Mekas was also in Prinzendorf very often to visit Kubelka, to visit us.
And Jonas Mekas was also involved of being in a curatorial team of Orgis Mysterious Theatre, right?
Yes.
I think in 1975,
at the beginning,
they established this kind of like to gather financial support. So it was like a association or so established. So Jonas Mekas was very much involved, and apparently he really liked and appreciate Nitsch performances. And so after 40 years, you are again in Lithuania, because in 1986, you came fully in love with Hermann Nitsch. Probably it was one of the first your trips together, and it was Lithuania. We have on the leaflet this wonderful photo of you and Nitsch sitting on a super high bench, and none of you are reaching the ground. It's a fantastic image.
And I don't remember, I think it was on the seaside, but I don't remember exactly where it was,
And you also traveled with one of the members of Vienna group, with
Atman.
Yes, and he was here, and you were staying in
he was invited. We were only the groupies.
You were the accompanies. And you were staying in a hotel in Lietuva.
Yes.
Right? And so we passed yesterday by it, so the surrounding looks totally different now at the moment. So Artman wrote a wonderful poem. So we also have this in our leaflet with your text. Talking about the politics, Nitsch period of creativity was actually in the post-war Austria. And was that actually an impact for him? Like, did it make an impact for him to do this art, what he's doing?
For sure, because he grows up in the war. But Nitsch never wants to make political art, never. He really say all the political art is no art. The art must be bigger than the day politic. And he hates politics at all, because he says when he grows up, Vienna was 4 sections, the Russian, the English, British, the American, and the French. And in the radio, everybody says completely the other things and say this is the trueness, and he never believes in politics. They are all liars.
His biography was kind of traumatizing, I suppose, or we can maybe feel that it was, because he was running with his mother in Vienna to the bomb shelters, going out and seeing all these bombed houses and the smoke, black smoke, and people were praying down underground, and the mother was also asking God to help. So then going to the religion, was he a religious person? Did he believe in any religion?
He didn't believe in one religion, but he was a religious man. He was very fascinated the religion, from the Catholicism, but also from the Buddhism, from the Zen Buddhism. He was really reading a lot Zen Buddhism, and he wants to be an artist who is also a priest. That's why he used also, when he was painting, special robes to change his outfit and to go in a role of a priest. And he says to exercise art is like to read a mass. It's a religious act.
Indeed, in the exhibition we have 3 shirts hanging and one we have on this painting. As I read what Nitsch is saying about that, it kind of like reveals or remarks the presence of artists, the shirt.
He has a wonderful poem about the artist's shirt. The name is this. And Zevola makes the interpretation. And yeah, he says this is a shirt also to suffer, because the artist is suffering during making art. It's also happy. It's a very beautiful poem. I don't have it now in my mind, but it's the symbol and the function of the artist's shirt. Yeah.
And Nitsch actually was saying about religion that he doesn't believe in any specific religion, but he believes in being, as German Sein.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So this being, and as I also wrote in my text about those shirts, it's like a being of Nitsch here. So the first time when we installed the exhibition, I was alone here, and I kind of like felt the presence of Nitsch. And then this happiness came finally into me, because yes, it's not just the artworks I hear, but I kind of like feel Nitsch here, and I was feeling really happy about that. We met, I think, more than a year ago in Graz during a Nitsch exhibition in the gallery. And then later, after several months, I visited you in Prinzendorf Castle. And it wasn't just that the size of the castle was impressive, but what was inside. So many studios with artworks that you showed for us, and one was for the winter, one was summer studio. In one of these studios you had lots of spices, so you could smell plants, spices, glasses. So unfortunately we don't have this in our exhibition, but maybe that was special for the studio that he made.
This is the pharmacy of sentences, what he's always was creating during his artist life. During the performances you can also taste, you can touch. To the performances, to the leitmotifs of performances, they are inside. He writes down what kind of smell, what kind of taste you have to take. Yeah. So many times they ask me what is a Gesamtkunstwerk. This is a kind of his Gesamtkunstwerk that he wants to bring all our senses
to experience. So okay, since we are now inside the castle, and what is the future of the castle? Would you see it as a Nitsch museum?
Yes. Nitsch wanted always that it will be the place for his organ mystery theater. I will do this next year, the last 3 days of his 6-day play, and then maybe with small performances in the future. But I want to give this castle as a present to the Austrian government, but until now they didn't accept my offer, as a Nitsch museum,
You will organize the Orgis Mysterious Theatre in 2025 in June, and it will be 3 days lasting, not the 6 days lasting.
No, because we want to make the 6-day play in this year when he's getting so sick. In 7 January, he came in the hospital, and he was nearly 4 months in the hospital. And then I promised him that I start. It was too late to make all the 6 days because you need 1 year preparation for this. And I start with 2 days. The year after I make the first day, and now I make the last 3 days.
So I know that you are a big organizer of this play. Can you describe us? How do you do it? What's the beginning? Finding the actors? What,
Yeah.
for example, now for
there
next
will
year?
be a lot of participator, nearly 70, 80 actors we will have. We have orchestra from 100 musicians and
Choir.
choir with other 30, 40. Then we will have a big kitchen. We cook for them. They are 2 weeks before the performance in our house, the students, for the rehearsals and also to get together. Yeah, it's a big organization. Yeah. They have to sleep somewhere. I have to organize the sleeping toilets.
All the casual, normal things, what we have. So all in all, what was actually the inspiration for Nitsch talking about, I know that his grandfather, he made a huge influence on him with loving nature, also getting interested in Greek mythology. So can you shortly explain, like, what is behind his works? Like, what is philosophies, psychoanalysis?
First, from the art beginning, it was the Klimt and Schiele, which influenced him a lot, Gerstl, Kokoschka. Then the psychoanalysis and C.G. Jung with the archetypes, it was for him very important. Then from the music, it was Richard Wagner, but also Schönberg and all the Vienna music school. And in the philosophy, Heidegger was very important for him.
And the Greek mythology.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Dionysus.
Yeah. These are archetypes which are coming also in his theater always.